What's up, faithful? Welcome to the 49ers You've Got Mail podcast presented by Delta Dental. Today, we are joined by a very special guest, rookie running back Isaac Guerendo. Isaac, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
You were saying not a big podcaster.
No, not very.
Do you have a number of podcasts you've appeared on so far? Or is this the first one?
This will be number one.
Okay, we got a special podcast debut by Isaac Guerendo today. So, Isaac, 10 weeks into the NFL season, what is life in the pros like?
Honestly, it's been great. I don't think I could have landed at a better spot. So, just all around, the environment from, the players to the coaches, it's been amazing.
What has been the biggest transition from playing at the college level to now being in the league?
Biggest transition. I think biggest transition positively, just no schoolwork. Oh my goodness, that's a blessing. But I would say, just the speed of the game, it definitely picks up a little bit. You talk about guys, you're on the field with the best of the best. So, you really got to be on your stuff. Make sure you're detailed with your work, and I think that's one thing I learned.
You touched upon a little bit of your college experience. No more schoolwork, so we're happy about that.
Love it.
But you actually split your college career between the University of Wisconsin and then later went to Louisville. So about your journey in college, what was the decision to play at two different schools, two different programs?
So for me, when I decided to enter the transfer portal, starting with Wisconsin, I had a little bit of injury history like when I was young, and then as well as being a receiver in high school, made that transition to running back when I got to Wisconsin. Which for me, I saw opportunity because Wisconsin at the time we were running the ball probably 70 times a game, so you can't go wrong with that. But so like it was really a development thing for me, making that transition. But when you're out, you can't really build that confidence. So when I got to those like last couple of years at Wisconsin, I was starting to get in a rhythm in the 2022 season, and then we just had a deep backfield. So I made the decision to go to Louisville, and just be at a place where I can get a little bit more opportunity. So that's really what went into that decision.
One interesting fact a lot of people may not know about you is that part of that deep backfield is Jonathan Taylor, and he is now a mentor to you. Even now, you talk about still texting him now and then. So, how did that relationship develop?
It was really obviously when I made that transition. He was, with him, he was only a year older than me. But he did a good job. Just taking me under his wing, and with us both being kind of speed guys, it kind of made it easier. And I was like, I'm just gonna replicate, everything he does. But he's been a great mentor, throughout the whole process. As far as just being there whenever I had questions or anything like that, and then still being there if I have questions now. So it was an enjoyment to have him.
How often do you talk to him now that you're both in the league?
Obviously we both have busy schedules, but I'll text him here and there. He does the same, so I appreciate him for that.
You spoke about replicating just everything that he did. Does that mean the way he prepped for games, some of his skill set on the field? Was it a little bit of everything?
Yeah, it was a little bit of everything. There was points where a whole recovery plan, everything he's doing, I'm doing. But it also worked for me. So I was like, with the amount of success that he's having, I'm like following him. I can't go wrong. So.
What's the best piece of advice he handed down to you?
Um, Honestly, best piece of advice he handed to me was, you have speed, so use it. I mean, with a guy like that being fast as well, I think that was a big thing. I think there was a lot of hesitation early on, but I was able to figure that out a little bit. So then, whenever I do see a seam or something, I was able to hit it.
You also spoke about this earlier in the season, but only one start in your 6 seasons at the college level. How do you think playing behind those very deep backfields has helped you now that you're in the league?
I think it's honestly prepared me mentally, for when that situation does happen. Obviously being a part of a great room right now, this is like a similar situation, more of this like a, whenever your number is called, you're ready for it. So, I also like to use it just like as a motivational piece. Even for just like for youth, telling them that, to keep them motivated, from, high school to college to, if they make the transition to the pros. It's an awesome story to tell because, it's not something that you really hear of a lot. And then, being able to be blessed enough to get drafted as well, I think that's something that I really hold on to.
You get drafted in April and you come to, like you mentioned, a running back room that's got Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason. When did you expect to see playing time for the first time your rookie season?
I wouldn't really say there was a specific time that I expected it. I always give credit to Coach Turner for preparing everybody the same, as if they're going to start that game. So, I think that's what allowed me to be ready, whenever my number is called.
You're part of a rookie class that, up to this point in the season, my colleague at ESPN's Nick Wagner has jotted all this down. Your rookie class has had 17, almost 1,700 snaps. That's almost the exact amount that the rookie class had last season. So, contributing a lot for you, 4 games with 5 carries or more. What has prepared you for that big moment?
Honestly, to start, that's exciting. I think just the talent with those guys coming in, that's an exciting stat that I haven't heard. But just kind of going back to Coach Turner, even in the pre-draft process, my situation was, like none other. I feel like, with a lot of people, including Jonathan Taylor. I kind of talked to him in the pre-draft process, talking about, landing spots and, how many times he talked to the Colts before he ended up there. So, I talked to Coach T a lot in the process, and, I was able to learn some from him before actually landing here. So, it kind of worked out, a team that believed in me, even before, they saw me run a decent 40 at the combine. So, I think that was, something that made me feel a lot more comfortable, when I did end up here. So, I was excited about that.
You mentioned the combine, freak measurables, really. Fastest 40 amongst running backs, also the highest vertical. Did you expect to put up those numbers? Like, were you seeing those in your testing prior as you were getting ready?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it, especially, going from, playing in the Holiday Bowl, playing USC, and then making that transition, there's definitely like a little hump you have to get over because, training for the combine, combine prep in general is way different than, what you were doing in the season. So, it took a little bit of time, but, I think the exciting thing about it was, a lot of people kind of undershot my 40. So I was like, I use that as a positive. I'm like, I mean, if you think I'm gonna run in 4.6, I was like, I know I'm not gonna run that. So, all I could do is boost myself at that point. So that was kind of the mentality with that.
You finish running that 40, and what's the first thought that goes through your mind? Did you look immediately up, or did you know just off of how you ran, like, yeah, I went really fast?
It felt good. I think that's the unfortunate thing about the first 40 is, you can't see the time. So I'm going back. I'm like, what was it? I had a couple of dudes that I trained with. Shout out X3 for getting me right, Jordan. Um, but yeah, I went right back. I was like, did you see what the time was? I think it was actually like you looked up on the screen and they had showed like certain coaches or whatever, and the TVs like that they're watching, they have them, but like the big screen doesn't have like the
Doesn't have it.
time on it. So they had seen it on there and they let me know it was like a 4.33, and then I'm getting text from my coach. He's like, you better not run again. It's like there's no point. I mean, so but no, it was exciting. I felt good about it.
After you're done running that 40, are you completely gassed?
No, I think it was more just like an adrenaline. Like, oh, like that was a good time to put out. So I was like, I felt confident about it. So I was happy.
That speed has been on display multiple times here with the 49ers, including in that Seahawks 76-yard run. I think you know where I'm going with
Oh
this.
yeah, I do.
The
Most
internet
definitely.
wants to know, was it a strategic slide or were you tackled?
It was definitely a strategic slide. I think now, putting two on tape, you can compare the two and they look very similar. But I think another thing that I've learned over the amount of time that I played football is if I'm gonna look back, I'm not gonna be at my fastest. So I mean, for me to look back for 15 yards, I don't. I mean, it just doesn't sound right. And then you talk about falling backwards. I've never seen somebody get tackled from behind and fall the way I did. That's just me. But maybe I'm wrong. If you guys can find something, let me know. But yeah, no, it was definitely a strategic side. Some people still don't believe it, but I know what I was doing.
So you had a little bit of a delayed gratification. You get another long run against the Cowboys, and then finally get to punch in on a separate play, your first touchdown. What is the feeling of finding the end zone for the first time as a rookie?
Oh man, I mean, especially after the Seattle game, having to give that one up, it felt great. Like I said, just being a part of this team, and being able to contribute in a game like that was the most exciting thing. So, it felt amazing being able to be out there and score the first one.
Like we mentioned, 1,700 snaps for the entire rookie class. When you see Dominic Pooney really be that first young guy to get the opportunity, how did that kind of set the tone or the bar for the rest of the rookie class?
Honestly, I was really excited for him. He's the amount of talent he has is incredible. So, obviously, it's just motivation. It's like as a rookie, you have that mindset of I want to contribute as well. So, having that motivation, a guy to chase. Obviously, we're all different positions, but it was exciting. And but seeing him out there, having the success that he's having is exciting.
And do you know how close is that rookie class? You guys all come in together, a lot of programming. So yeah, what are the personalities and how close has everyone gotten?
No, we're all close. I mean, I think we mesh real well. It's been amazing. I mean, you talk about the amount of time that we've spent together from rookie mini camp to OTAs to now. It's been awesome. It's a great group of guys.
Is there anyone in particular that you've bonded with, has really become a best friend over this time?
Honestly, everybody. I think we all mesh. There's not one guy that I couldn't have a great conversation with. So no, I think it's really just been everybody.
What has been your welcome to the NFL moment, if you've had it yet as a rookie? I know one example I like to point to is Malik just kind of poking a little fun at himself against the Chiefs. Have you had a similar moment?
Oh man, I think it's yet to come. I think it's still gonna be out there because I mean, when you talk about welcome to the NFL, I think it's something that really sticks out. So I think I'm still waiting for mine.
And then what has been the biggest learning lesson that you've had thus far then?
Um, I would say for me, just talking football wise is just being able to trust myself. I think if you don't trust yourself, you're gonna limit your ability. So I kind of just told myself, I just did a little bit of a self reflection before one of the games, and I was just like, just go out there, have fun with it. Like you were blessed enough to get this opportunity, so take advantage of it. So I think that's one thing that's helped me, and I'm gonna continue to use moving forward.
At what point throughout this year did the game start to kind of slow down? Like you mentioned, you gave yourself a moment and then you really did start to trust yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say it was before that Seattle game. I think it definitely started to click a little bit for me, and I feel like I was playing like more so like myself. I think, before then I was a little hesitant, and I think that game I really was able to just cut it loose.
And I know Christian McCaffrey obviously hasn't been playing this first half of this season, but how has he become a mentor for you just being in that running back room?
Having a conversation with him early on, once he got back, he just let me know. He was like, "Hey, if you ever need anything, if you ever have a question, let me know. Like, don't feel like you can't ask me that." And then, Juice has been the same way, but everybody in that room has been great. And I've been able to do that. Just ask questions to all of them, guys that have been around. Guys that have learned things. So that's why I enjoy that room so much. I can ask questions to all of them, but Christian has done a great job just mentoring everybody. Even while not being out there, just still having that same energy has been nice. So.
Off the field, you mentioned coming off this bye week, you decided not to go anywhere with the time off. How did you prioritize that recovery during the days you did have off?
Um, so I mean, that's the crazy thing. Even when I did have time off, I was in here, getting a little bit of extra recovery in, but at the same time, just being able to go home, kick my feet up a little bit, and just relax. I did visit downtown San Francisco. There's just the touristy stuff that most people who aren't from here have to do. So I felt like I needed to do that, but still got a lot of things I gotta explore, do, food places, all that stuff.
Yeah, what is next on that bucket list?
Oh man, I feel like there's too many things. So many food recommendations I've had. Um, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of them are in like San Francisco. So not being like in downtown San Francisco, I haven't been able to reach a lot of those, but definitely still have to go do that.
Kind of a trek. Have you done any exploring in the Bay Area, South Bay or San Francisco?
I mean, other than that trip I took to SF, I don't think there's really been
No
much.
time.
But honestly, the rookie trip that we took to the Giants game, Giants versus Yankees. I'm not gonna lie, that Oracle Park, that it's beautiful. I was like, that's none other. I've never seen anything like it. Just the bridge in the background, the water in the background is beautiful. I'm like, football, basketball, baseball. I was like, that's got to be like top 10 ever. So no, but that was definitely a fun experience.
Your life's dedicated to football, obviously. That's your livelihood. But what sport do you enjoy just watching as a fan?
Ooh, watching. I would say track. I enjoy watching track for sure. Obviously they're short races, but I always get a kick out of it. I used to run track myself, so I always watch that whenever that's on.
What was your event?
I was a sprinter, and then I did
That makes
long jump
sense.
as well. Yeah.
Do you have a deep level of appreciation then for the Olympics?
Oh yeah. Every time that's on, I gotta tune in. Definitely.
I like that. All right. So, the second part of this podcast, since you're new, fans from our YouTube community page, Instagram have sent in questions for you. I vetted them, so don't worry.
All right. I was a little nervous.
We're going to fire them off. All right. So, let's see here. Which Niner alum have you enjoyed most meeting? And that's from Nate from Stockton.
I'd say Patrick Willis. Obviously we didn't have a deep conversation, but it was kind of cool to see a guy like that come around. But I see Frank a good amount around the building. We already had the connection before that. Obviously, I would say him. He's been a great help throughout this as well. But I'd probably say him.
Is that a little starstruck or?
Definitely a little bit. You kind of get used to it. Just seeing a bunch of random guys, and obviously, playing with such great players. You got Hall of Fame caliber players in the locker room, so you kind of get used to it a little bit.
This one is from Karen Hardy. What did you buy with your first NFL paycheck?
That's the crazy thing, is I really haven't made any outstanding purchases.
Some people have said like tacos before, like something really, really.
I would definitely say the Dash Pass, and being a very loyal Dash customer. I would definitely say that. I think it's kind of it kind of hurts sometimes, looking at my monthly, spending on that. But I even got a notification from them. I think it said something about like, thank you for being this month's like one of our most loyal customers. I was like, this it probably isn't a good sign, but I guess I appreciate it a little bit.
What are you dash passing?
Oh my gosh, I do all types of things. That's the one thing about being out here, is it's not a lot of like, just staple restaurants. Like they have a whole bunch of stuff. So, I'm still exploring. I DoorDash a whole bunch of food. I think Teriyaki Madness, that's been a good place. I'm probably most loyal there.
A
Try to eat
frequent buyer.
somewhat healthy, but nah, I've been all over the place.
Okay, so we actually had you participate in a locker room question. I don't think you got enough love, so we're gonna highlight it again.
Okay.
You mentioned that you have a specialty dish. If you remember your answer to this,
Burger Helper. I remember it. Most definitely. That,
what flavor?
I would have to go stroganoff. That was my stuff in. Oh yeah, that was my stuff in college. I'm not gonna lie. I would sprinkle in some others here and there, but stroganoff was number one. Most
How
definitely.
How often are you making Hamburger Helper these days?
These days, I mean, it's been years now. It's been years. Um, yeah, it's probably been 3 years since I've whipped it up. But boy, when I made it, it was good.
Quality cuisine.
Oh yeah.
This one is from Anna Gabrielle. What is your favorite Disney Channel original movie? If you don't have one, what is your guilty pleasure TV or movie show?
I mean, some people hate on me because I'm 24 years old and I still watch like Disney animated movies. Like I
No,
don't.
that's fair. That's respectable.
Right, but Despicable Me is a good one. I'm not gonna lie. I've watched that movie several times over.
Isn't it? It's a trilogy now.
Oh
Have you
yeah.
watched 2 and 3?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So
I
you like the
definitely.
Minions.
Yeah, I mean it's just a greatly executed movie. So I've watched it several times over.
Last one. What is a hidden talent you haven't shared with Niner fans yet?
Hidden talent. Dang, that's unfortunate. I can't say I have a lot of hidden talents, honestly. I would have to think about that one. I don't think I have anything special for them, unfortunately.
For later in the season. Well, you're a track athlete, so that's kind of a hidden talent.
Yeah, I can run kind of fast, somewhat.
Run kind of fast. We've seen it. We appreciate having you on the show. Faithful to be featured in our next episode, make sure to submit your questions to our YouTube community page or on Instagram and sign up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so that you can be the first to listen to our latest episodes. That's it from us. Niners, protect your teeth and your budget with dental plans from Delta Dental. Get fumble-free dental coverage today.